that matters. Like, it only mattered back in like 4th grade when people got identified, like 3rd or 4th grade, and then your parents got offered, and your parents decided yes or no, and then the rest is kind of history.
My mom let me pick.
I mean, that's very progressive. Like, I agree with that. Alright, so we should look at that worksheet, because we have 2 different activities that we want to do today. Because it is Taco Tuesday, even though it feels like a Monday. So let's get out this worksheet. Alright, so our learning goals... Glad you guys didn't react, because you shouldn't be that surprised that I'm pausing since we're going to come over here, is to talk about cubes and cube roots. And I didn't think about this, so I saw that someone had typed this. It is cube root, not cubed, like past tense. If you have cubed, you've made something into a cube. When we cube root, we're looking for what is the root of the cube, which is going to be similar to when we talked about roots of squares. So what do you think it means to cube something? I will take a volunteer. What does it mean to cube something? Cora, what do you think? So, okay, what does that mean if you were to try to draw that out to explain to somebody? Like, if I say, like, 5 cubed, you said put it to the power of 3. Yeah. I agree, but what's that mean?
Like 5 times 5 times 5?
Yeah, mathematically, yes. Now, visually, like, thinking geometrically, I guess we can go ahead and answer the mathematically. That becomes 125. And you can throw it to somebody else if you want. But what does that actually mean, like, when we are thinking in, like, the geometric sense of what we're thinking about? Henry?
To make a cube with the edge length of 5.
Yeah, if I make a cube with the edge length of 5, so I gotta have that edge 5, that edge, and the back edge 5. If you've never drawn a cube before, it's a little tricky. You want to try to do dotted lines with the lines that you can't quite see. But yeah, what we're actually physically talking about is take a length and turn it into a cube. Now, conversely, but kind of the same, a cube root, hey guys, a lot of you need to know how, like, actually pretty much all of us, and I have your activity paused, so I'm confused at what people are doing. And if I need to block your activity on Dino, that feels really childish. Like for me to need to block what you're doing to get you to stop. Just feels really silly. What would it mean to cube root something, and how would I write it? Owen?
The square root thing, I don't know how to explain it. It's like
So, like, you said this thing? But what?
You have to put a 3 in front of it.
We put a little 3 in front of it. And guys, here's one of those things about math that I do not like. There's an assumed 2. If you just draw the square root symbol, it is assumed there's a 2 here. Like if we write x, it's assumed it's 1x. But this is an assumed 2. Once we get to cube root, we have to write the 3. Okay, so if you were going to go to your calculator and cube root 125, we just said that if I cube 5, I get 125. So I can assume that I know this answer is 5, but can you get it in a calculator? Do you know what buttons to push? Try it right now. It's different depending on your calculator. I'm going to show you the 2 common calculators, but then also, like, guys, you will, for your test, you will have calculator both days, which will involve, like, the Desmos Scientific calculator, like the app, right? Kind of like the website one we're used to. So we're going to be practicing these the next few days. It's a little different on the others. I'm going to trade you. There's a big reason why I told you guys to get the calculators like my yellow ones instead of these ones. Anyone know how I can get to cube root of 125? Because if I just hit the square root symbol, like, well, we know 125, that's not it. That doesn't work. And actually, this is in math print. So guys, we'll review this next week too, but if your calculator's in math print, you probably want to switch it to classic to get decimal answers. Anyone know how to cube root? Oh, hey, look, I have something to teach you guys. Arlo?
Okay, so, I have the TI 30X 2S, right?
Yeah, they're the same.
Yeah,
It just looks different on the
yeah.
screen.
But first I press second and the caret symbol because above that is X squared. No, is like the cube root symbol. But before that, I'm pressing on the keypad, right? Is the number that.
Hold on, pause. Does everyone see the symbol that instead of square root is the xth root? And it's there or it's here. Right? The xth root. So now wait, Arlie, you had started by saying, I start by hitting second, but then I think you changed your mind.
Yeah, because I forgot a step. Okay, so first of all, what number, what exponent do you want?
What root?
Yeah, what root? Do you want a cubic root or?
So if we want cubic root, we start by hitting.
The 3, right?
Everyone start by typing a 3. Then, what do we hit?
Then, we go from where I actually started originally. You press second and the caret button, because above that is the root button, right? And then you just type in the number, right? So we'll just do 125 in this case. And then equals, and it'll give you...
Guys, this is really annoying because it doesn't even look right, not even on the better calculator. Alex?
How do you do it on a scientific calculator?
You will not be allowed to use that for the test, so it doesn't really matter. But, like, I will answer the question, but you will not be allowed to use these calculators on the test.
Okay.
As you, like, progress and move up to maybe, like, better calculators, guys, anything they didn't have space for a button for, and I used to think this was really funny when I was in high school, oh, it's the button that does math. No, for real. It's the math button. When you hit math, it tells you all the things they didn't have space to make buttons for. Because this is just a computer, right? Here's all the options they pre-programmed. And you can write your own programs in these. If you just hit PRGM, which stands for program, you can write your own. So you can add as many as you want. If you hit math, there's your cubing. There's your cube root. There's your any root. So on this calculator, if I do this, cube root of 125, I should get 5. Right? Or over here, guys, the trick is you have to hit the 3 first. If I do this, it tries to figure out what root am I wanting, and it grabs my previous answer. So whatever my previous answer was, now I'm doing it to that root, which is likely not going to work out well. So we do 3 to tell it I'm doing the cube root of 125. Boom, shakalaka. So, similar to when we did square roots, there are perfect cubes, just like there were perfect squares. 125 is a perfect cube. What's 2 cubed? 2 times 2 times 2? 8. So you might think in your head, because real quick, you get pretty big. 2 cubed is 8. What about 3 cubed? 3 times 3 times 3? 4 cubed? 64. So when we start looking down here at the cube root of 17, realize this is different. Like this is an example that is different than this. I kind of don't love that they did this. I wish they'd drawn, like actually, and if you want to draw like a squiggly line, this example is different from that one. Cube root of 17, we know would be more than what?
Pardon the interruption. Glenna Tweedle and Elsa Hayes to the Perry office. Glenna Tweedle.
Just like we did last week.
Hayes to the Perry
Henry?
office.
We know it would be more than 2 cubes.
Because the cube root of 8 is 2. And what's the cube root of 27?
3.
And then when you type it into your calculator, hey guys, check if you're doing this right. Hit a 3. And you can always hit clear if you actually hit the wrong thing. Hit a 3. Second, hit the any root. Right, the caret for any root. 17. What's it come out to be? Should come out to be 2.57, yada, yada, yada. Ugly. What do we call this number aside from calling it ugly?
Irrational.
Irrational, because it is not one of the perfect ones.
I need one of those calculators so I could.
Yeah. There you go. These don't look as good, but they work the same. So, like, these are the same. They just, the screen doesn't look as great.
Okay.
And I will unpause you guys. So, very similar to what we did last week. You do not have to worry about was your first slide correct or not. You do need to start caring about slides like 2 and 3 and 4. And you'll know if you got it right. Guys, I literally did this weekend. We bought a patio umbrella from IKEA, and the base parts get filled with sand. I Googled it of like how much sand goes in this, and I was like, that can't be true. And I literally measured, did a little computation, figured out the volume, and figured out how much sand I needed. This is real life math. It really is.
I think that's.
You don't think you'd ever potentially buy a patio umbrella?
No, on this.
I actually bought a
Kinda
patio
messed
umbrella
up.
with my parents on the weekend when we had to build it.
I accidentally overfilled the box just a little bit.
Well, then you wasted sand and you might be getting fired.
They'll never know. I ate all of it. What?
Nice job, yeah. What did it taste like, though?
Salt and pepper.
Okay.
I had salt and pepper popcorn last night.
I had strawberry shortcake popcorn. It's
Sounds
absolutely-
something a 7th grader might enjoy. Not me
did-
so much.
It wasn't really very enjoyable.
Are you still going to send 27 metric tons of corn back from the
Yep.
give up on that?
It said 270,000 business days. Oh.
All right, and assuming this makes enough sense that you think you could do it for like 2 or 3 problems on the test, let's celebrate Taco Tuesday and go out of this activity and go to the taco truck activity.
Ooh, this sounds much tastier. I had tacos last night.
Way to flex.
Why?
I ate lunch.
Because it's my brother's birthday. Oh. Is it your brother's birthday?
No. My birthday's tomorrow, but he is 6. Okay, Colin.
Hey guys, you know that like I want to get us to a certain point, and then if we have gotten there, I can release you to work on con. But first priority is getting through what we need to get through. I need to make sure we understood what we learned about the Pythagorean theorem last week. Be careful if you try to square numbers in your head. It's easy to forget zeros when squaring numbers in your head, so just be careful.
Hey, is Alma able to walk diagonally? Yeah, she is. What song is this?
It's a mashup. Guys, can we actually like do the math? I got some people just throwing numbers down. We're not approximating. It wants us to actually do that math. And like my concern is those of you slopping down wrong answers, it makes me feel like I need to come talk with you. But I can't tell if you're just throwing down a number. Like I need you to actually think and compute.
So we're trying to get her to walk diagonally.
Yeah, take that diagonal path across the park. She's going to walk from point A to point B through the park, it says.
That's not what I said.
Through the park. Oh my gosh, look, it's a word.
Like a river.
Through the park.
It looks just like a river.
Yes, because rivers are brown. Well, okay, rivers are brown.
Rivers are brown.
A lot of time, rivers are brown.
Let's go. No. What? That's not how directions spelled. Henry, how do we walk faster on wood?
How fast? Because I want faster on wood. Henry, yeah. Can you look at your answer on slide 4? Okay.
Vowels?
Do I need to anonymize things? Love this reminder. Check out, and it's different depending on the slide, but if you open the keyboard, which like guys, the Desmos calculator is the calculator for the test. Like literally Desmos's coding is in the Ohio State test. So if you want cube root, you can do the any root, or can you type like CURT or any? Has anyone figured out any other like way to trick it into? Because we did squirt right for SQRT for square root. Can you do CURT?
It's B instead of U.
It's what?
It's B instead of U.
CVRT or what? CB? Oh, cubic root. Hey, CBRT. There we go. Thank you, classmates. Right? If you don't know how to do something, turn to a classmate and say, hey, did you figure this out yet? I know there must be a way.
Vivian Tsai, please come to the main office with your things. Vivian Tsai.
All right, so this is when it gets fun. When we get to the beach. And there, at the beach, we hear, off in the distance, and it catches our attention and we get the smell. And then we realize there's a taco truck and it's Taco Tuesday. So you and your friend decide you're gonna go get tacos. But of course, you don't decide to take the same path to get there because you and your friends always argue just because you're in middle school and it's fun to argue. So, you have to decide how are you gonna take to get to the taco truck. How can you get there the quickest? Because the first person there gets a free taco.
Oh, I didn't know that there were free tacos.
Free tacos involved. Are you good?
Thank you for the insight, Joe.
I think I miscalculated
The
something.
answer is
Because walking diagonally is walking? Maybe you're still typing. Maybe.
207.
You guys ever been to the beach and like you're like walking across the like sand dune or whatever, and like everything's fine, and you get to the sand and like all of a sudden everything's like a lot tougher. Like the cooler's like way heavier now, and you're like, gosh, this sand is just annoying. And eventually you'll get to the slide where it gives you the math of walking through the sand is slightly slower. It is a little bit slower to walk through the sand than it is to walk on a boardwalk. So you could either walk up to the boardwalk, through the sand, and then down the boardwalk, or you can walk through the sand the whole time, as long as hopefully it's not too hot and your feet aren't getting burned.
Well, there's palm trees that are casting their shade. Even
On
if
the boardwalk? Yeah.
Even if it doesn't really show that.
So our debate becomes, do we want to take the path with Daniel or the path with Bao?
Just fly.
Channel.
Rent a private jet and fly to the top.
So sorry that we're stuck in reality, Joe. Let's operate within reality. And now we've got some speeds.
Ashley Ignacio,
We want to take
please come to the office. Ashley Ignacio.
I'm not a real person. No, you
You're
are not.
anonymized. Especially because I'm recording.
I think I'm dead.
Guys, it's Zoe now.
Guys, Zoe's route is so interesting. Like, it's so hard just to calculate.
The taco truck is still calling to you. First person there gets a free taco.
No. Why do we need to lost? That is not
Alright, guys, let's go. Let's go. Lock in.
No.
If you've made it past slide 5, you can check with me, and as long as your answers are good, you can then go do Khan Academy. Past slide 5 is your goal.
I got slide 5.
Square.
Arlo, you are good on slide 5. Hannah, you are good on slide 5. Tron, you are good on slide 5. You have to move past slide 5 for me to be able to see if you're good.
Am I? That's it.
Dude, you didn't even answer everything. Your slide 5 just shows like an alert.
Oh, it?
Yes, go back to slide 5 and look if you actually answered everything.
That's very long. That is incredibly long. Wait, slide 5 on which thing? Taco one?
The taco one. This one. Well, I want to anonymize before I show you guys. This slide. Click past it and like here, I'll show you what my view looks like. So that's you. Oh, more than 5 attempts. Did you calculate?
No.
Go calculate it.
Okay.
Because you just guessed. Yeah, that's why it's giving an alert, because you just guessed your way there, silly Willy. Also, my reminder that I need to pass homework out, because there's a couple homeworks you phoned in.
Could I have some hope on the last part?
Unfortunately, no, because I need to pass these out.
I kind of forgot to turn in every single homework.